All right, so I didn't really want to talk about this topic, but it became too big to not discuss it. So we're talking about Carmelo Anthony. Just got sentenced to 35 years in prison. And so a little background: he stabbed Austin Metcalf right through the heart. I believe this was last year. And so this was last year. Fast forward to today, his court case a couple days ago got sentenced, and then there is public outrage. This has become such a media driven topic that it's becoming very popular for all the wrong reasons, right? I think the first thing you have to point to is the parents. The parents, they're making it out to be like it's them against the world. They're making it out to be that white people are the problem for the actions of their kid, which, by the way, you are his parents. You, at the end of the day, are culpable of his actions. Even though he did what he did, and obviously he's going to serve his time, and he did what he did, right? Your parenting is the reason why he's in that position. Now, I think this it's very disappointing. They're making it out to be white people are evil, which, by the way, it's a complete indoctrination of the black community. Their parents told them that white people are evil, and then it's just decade long of just this indoctrination of blaming one specific sort of people. That's a story for another day, right? They're making this story into racial prejudice, racial discrimination, and us against the world, when in reality it should be about Carmelo Anthony. They should be fighting for their kids' freedom. Instead, they're making this out to be this whole circus act. This whole like, hey, like basically there is still discrimination. And don't get me wrong, there is discrimination, but for all the wrong reasons, right? At the end of the day, the Metcalf's family, Austin, he's dead, and yours is alive. How are you going? I mean, the pure audacity to make it about you guys when their kid is gone. They're never gonna see the kid again. He's been passed away for over a year now, right? So it you need to just be more sensitive to that. You're making it out to be this whole situation where there's discrimination when there isn't. Not in this situation. I mean, your son went to the opposing school's tent and was looking for trouble, was looking to instigate, and it's all proportionate, right? This whole their whole case, their whole argument was self-defense, which is stupid, by the way. Just cuz someone taps you on the shoulder does not give you the right to kill someone. Heck, I'll even go as far, it could be a fist fight. Doesn't give you the right to kill someone. They're claiming it as self-meditated or premeditated murder, and it was. Doesn't need to be a whole dragged out days of planning out the murder. As long as it's, if you thought about it for 1 second, that's considered premeditated, right? And it really sucks because the more, I swear, whenever there's a situation between a black male, white male, or, it doesn't matter the gender, I guess. It doesn't matter. But it always becomes, were they racist, right? And simply put, this had nothing to do with race, right? It was just Carmelo was probably not thinking straight. I mean, who the fuck brings a knife? Who the fuck brings a knife to attract me? So that this is a result of a dumb kid's actions resulting in murder at the end of the day, right? It's very unfortunate. I'm sure Carmelo would love to have it, redo that day back. I doubt that he would, it would happen the same way. But it's just really sad because I need to go back to the parents, right? At the end of the day, the lack of accountability. They stole $500,000 from their supporters instead of, I'm sure they spent some of it on getting the best, attorney they can get. But they bought a house. I'm sure they spent it on a lot of other things. They're having this whole case is about them. They're making it about them, and they're not making it about their kid. Their kid is going to be living, a good portion of his adult life behind bars. Who knows if he makes it, until 35 years, right? You never know. You're in prison. Shit happens in prison, right? What was eye popping about this is that allegedly in the courtroom when they sentenced him, Carmelo didn't really show much sympathy, which I guess makes sense. I mean, he was the one that stabbed and murdered Austin. Um, it's just very sad to not feel the empathy, or I mean, the sympathy. I don't really know the difference between the two words, but towards the family that is affected by this tragedy, right? Just the lack of awareness of what they could be feeling. Because if they were in the same shoes there where their kid was murdered, they're going to want everyone to realize what just happened and want to feel sorry for them, because it is not easy by any means to live through a situation where there's basically, everyone's wanting to stick their cameras, everyone's wanting to know everything about you after a tragedy just occurred. So it's not an easy situation to go through by any means. And Carmelo Anthony, I mean, he's probably, it says 35 years. They're probably going to bring it down to like 27 years if he's on good behavior. It always ends up being less. I think the sentencing was quite light, was pretty, slap on the wrist esque. Um, I don't know. I mean, I would have thought Texas would be a lot harsher than that. But yeah, just a sad situation overall. So just sucks.